Hey, my name is Victor. I am so glad you are here. We're going to learn the very basics of how to do lights, how to get it working, what cables do you need, what gear do you need, all that good stuff. This might sound a little bit funny, but some people don't know this, and we're going to start with our power. The first thing we're going to use for most of the lights, this is a little bit more advanced lights, but you can buy lights from anywhere, to be honest. Nowadays, even Amazon have DMX light that work great. We have a couple here and they've been amazing and they're super affordable. So most of your lights are going to be either PowerCon or IEC, which is the correct name. Other people call it D plug because if you look at it, it looks like a D, um, like a capital D. But the correct name is IEC, and we're going to plug that into our light. Now we have power. Now for our console today, this is a ETC color source. To be honest, you could do the same exact thing with a very basic lighting console. This is just what I had here, but I'm gonna show you it in a very basic way. And this is exactly what you're gonna do when you connect your lights. So what we have here is our light, a Chauvet. But like I said, it can be a cheap light from Amazon. We have our lighting console. We're gonna pretend this is a lighting console that only has 4 or 5 channels. Actually, we're gonna pretend it has 3 channels. That's what we're gonna do today. And you also need your DMX cable. It's a 3-pin DMX cable. And the reason why you need a DMX cable is because they have a higher ohm than a regular XLR cable. It looks like an XLR cable. You can use an XLR cable if you're really, really stuck. Sometimes when you have more advanced lightings and you use an XLR cable, it might not work right. Some of your lights might start flickering, but you need a DMX cable to start to do it correctly. So we're going to plug in our DMX cable to the back of the light, or let's plug it into the back of the board first because that's the correct way to do it. What happens is if you connect it to the back of the light, you might get confused because the light has 2 directions. If you connect it to the board, you cannot fail because the board only has one way to plug it in. So we're going to plug in our male side to the female of the board. Then we're going to grab our female side and connect it to the male side of the light. So currently I have it set to the address that we need. An address is the same thing as a channel. And when you have lights, every single light has 512 channels for you to use. You can pick any of those 512, but we got to remember the amount of channels that your light has, right? So I'm going to break that down even farther. So this light in particular, we're using in 3-channel mode. So what that means is right now it has DMX. That's what the D stands for, DMX. So, or address, whatever you want to call it. I say it's abbreviation of DMX. So DMX channel 1, correct? Which means channel 1 on 3-channel mode is going to be red, green, and blue. That's always the order of the lights. RGB, whatever light you ever buy, your first 3 channels are going to be red, green, and blue. Specifically basic par lights. If it's a mover, then it gets more complicated because it has pan, tilt, and all this crazy stuff. But right now, all you need to worry about is red, green, and blue. So for an example, if you don't start here, your light might look something like this. This means address. ADDR is usually where you want to go. But I'm going to go through the channels just so you could see what happens. I'm going to go through the menu so you can see what's on the menu. So you got address, you got your PERS, which most of the lights don't have it, but this one for some reason does. and I'll show you what that is. That's where you get your channel mode from. This is your dim. This is like color. I'm not sure what U stands for, but this is just what the menu looks like. But for this example, all we need to do is go to address, enter, and then we're already on 1. But if you wanted to change it to whatever you wanted to, that's how you would do it. You go up and down. So if you, this might be a little bit rare, but there are different types of light that looks like a regular RGB like this, but you'll have these little white, you'll have a rectangle, a little blue rectangle in the back of the light with these little white switches, and those are your DMX addresses. Most lights nowadays don't have that, but if you have that, text me, email me, do something, whatever, to get in contact me on Instagram, social media, YouTube, and I will reply to you on how to address your analog light. So every light, as I said before, is RGB. So we're gonna start red, green, and blue. And once you have everything connected, your channels are gonna be, the channel 1 is gonna be red. So you can see it there, red, green, and blue. If you have a smaller mixer, like I said, this is the only thing I had here for this example, but it works the exact same way. You might have a master fader. So what you're gonna wanna do is you turn up the master fader, and you'll see it's gonna be labeled master, and then it's gonna be labeled by numbers. So you get your master fader, and then you go red, green, and blue.